All right, Brian Good here. Last time we'll have the earliest alert title for the blog here as we switch over to winter forecast tomorrow, and then we will begin the title of Snow Talk on Wednesday, as you all, most of you are aware of. Snow Talk is just the title that we have for the season. Doesn't mean snow is always in the forecast. Those of you who are new to the blog, that will be an adjustment to get used to that title. All right, here we go. Speaking of snow, we did have a trace over the weekend. Brief snow showers, flurries flying by, so adds to the list of other traces we've had this decade, including 2013 and 14. Last measurable snow, though, was quite a bit a while back here. We're talking about a good 24 years ago, and we had it on the 30th on about 2.5 inches of snow, but actually closer to an inch on Halloween itself. That was a cold one, and of course it led to the January snow in '94, and everyone thinks there's a correlation that there is not to October snow events in the winter. But they are certainly fun to have when you get a little taste of it right off the bat there. All right, temperature-wise this morning, now officially at the airport, we actually did drop to 31, so below freezing. Good freeze in many locations. We'll hear from the University of Kentucky Ag Department. They're the ones that work with the Weather Service to determine if the growing season has indeed ended. If it has ended, they will no longer issue these frost and freeze alerts until the spring season. We will, again, know that word later on today. All right, we do have clouds increasing, and we have rain. It's not too far away underneath all these clouds, and this batch of rain is going to overtake mainly Indiana today when it comes to showers, and therefore you guys will be certainly cooler than the rest of us. So kind of a chilly day, areas of showers, most of Indiana. Some of that may work its way across the river into Kentucky. We'll see if that happens. Once it does happen, that will actually ease our temperature downward a bit here in Louisville as the thicker clouds and some areas of light rain potentially move into the city. Warmer to the south, upper 50s expected for those in our southern counties, it looks like, and then all that will fade out. It's a front moving in. That'll clear the sky out. It's going to be a cold night for tonight. That leads us into the RPM model here. A couple of things to point out on this. First off is the current radar. Here's what it says where the rain should be. It's not too far off, a little off on placement, but not bad. It brings out rain band again across Indiana, far northern Kentucky. Fades it out tonight, so we drop down to the 30s. And that looks like Halloween day. Not bad. It's going to be a chilly day. We'll be struggling to get to that 50-degree mark. And then as we do the evening, I think trick-or-treaters will be dealing with temperatures in the 40s. Then we cloud up as we get into near sunrise Wednesday. Here's the classic setup here. You got the cold air in place. You got moisture being moving in from the south. Could the two overlap? We call it overrunning kind of a scenario. Could we get something frozen to take place before the cold air gets eroded away? RPM hints at it. It goes with a mix of anywhere from a ice pellet to snowflake potential mixed in. There's not a lot of moisture, as you can see there for the overall theme. There's not a lot of coverage here. It's very spotty. It's just a general gradual increase. But even that gradual increase in moisture can produce flurries in a few areas of light sleet that could fall. Not enough to be impactful. It holds off the majority of the rain, though, until later Wednesday. The NAM model's a little different on that. It's trying to bring in a lot more moisture in early in the day. It seems to be the outliner, though, at the moment. In fact, here's the sounding from it. If you guys remember this from last week, the red and green is red is temperature, green is moisture. This is the ground level. This is way up here where the airplanes fly, basically. And 0 degree line is where you need to watch for. You want everything left of that line if you want snow. And notice that it's teased right in through here and to the right of the line here. It's betting on more the idea of rain more so than this is the area where snowflakes will be generated. And they're not smacked together. They're not saturated enough. It's close, but not quite, so it's going to be tough to get a snowflake to form, so it's likely to be a raindrop, but it could. Given this layer here in this back to the left of 0 there, that would indicate maybe sleet, possibly, mixed in there. It's possible. When you look at the GFS model, again, it's not as aggressive for the moisture. It's not close together in many spots. Even if it were, though, it's close, again, in the spot where snowflakes would form, but this is a relatively warm layer. And the lower layers, the atmosphere, a relatively thick layer, I should say, so anything would melt. The only thing that would happen here is if you get virga and you get evaporative cooling, these two may try to come together a little more, and then maybe some sleet. Both soundings really indicate more of a sleet deal than it does snowflakes to me. But it's not a big deal. The Schrepp model hints at it too. A little bump right there, right at sunrise for Wednesday. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I don't want that impression like I did last one. I analyzed it. Everyone got the impression it was going to be a big deal. This is the same deal, not a big deal. Looking at the pressure systems down the road here as we head into the 9th of November. Interesting setup. What you'll notice, it's hard to tell in here, but the high pressure is mainly yellow and then green is the lower pressure. The high pressure is trying to build into portions of the Aleutian Islands and Alaska. That is creating a very sharp digging of troughs into the Rockies here, and then they roll back out into the southern parts of Canada. And when you get that kind of a setup, each time there's a dig right in through here, anytime any low digs here, we get a significant warm up, and when the low rolls out, we cool down, but only to seasonal levels. And then as soon as it rolls back out of the way, we start the process all over again. And that seems to be the trend here. Here's the GFS showing that surge of rainfall Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like the end of the weekend may end up being more drier than anything. Right now I've got rain chances at 30%, but we may be able to taper them down lower and warmer temperature-wise. We'll see how this plays out for the weekend. And then as we get into next weekend, this is a stronger front. It looks like about next Tuesday that will roll in, that will knock us down somewhat, but then we begin that surge again, back to the warmth. So no cold air shots coming our way that are significant. We're going to get teased with cold, but certainly more warm than cold in our future. And when you look at the earliest alert, that's pretty much how I've trended everything. Kind of bouncing a little bit here this weekend as we head into the 60s to around 70 or so. May get in the mid-70s on Monday the 6th. I thought I'd change that, but I didn't. But the 6th, I can see mid-70s. And then we'll see that sharper front knock us down briefly to the 50s, but we're back up again warming. So I don't see any big changes until way down the road, which will be part of the winter forecast. So I can't say much more than that for now. You'll have to tune in tomorrow evening to see that, and make sure you have the Weekly News Weather app, because that's where the weather blog will be updated for the winter forecast. It's free. Might as well download it.